Fiery observations, righteous discussions unite people.
This is the word of podcast.
And I'm your host, OMNI Omni, etc. Back at it again with another video. So I was already in the midst of making this video when I came across news of an update on the Trey Reed case. If anybody remembers, the Trey Reed case was the alleged quote-unquote lynching of a young 21-year-old college man, right? Delta State University student. His name was Trey Reed. And I really like how his family handled everything. It was like, listen, everybody, we just want all the facts to come out. Please stop trying to push this narrative and that narrative. And like just a few days before that, Charlie Kirk was unalive. Just a few days before that. A few days prior, Charlie Kirk was unalive. So the nation was already in a heightened state of tension. And everybody was on social media, whatever reason, racially charged, because we didn't even know who the suspect was or what ethnicity they were. But some people thought that this was get back for Charlie Kirk, that they were just going to start hanging black men in trees. And this was the start of a giant race war, right? That's the level of people's intelligence when they're emotionally charged. But the conspiracies go up dramatically on social media when people are in a heightened state of tension. But outside of that, the show that I was going to talk about was Da'Jon, right? Da'Jon Burr. But before we get into that, this Trey Reed update says, and we're going to bring it right over here. Right? Trey Reed's family says Crump never shared final independent autopsy results. This came out July 30th, so just a few days ago. Nearly a year after a group of Delta State University football players found 21-year-old student Trey Reed hanging from a tree on campus, his family says that the attorney who vowed a full investigation in the earlier days has not spoken to them in 7 months. He also never gave them the final results of the independent autopsy he promised. So it goes on to say, the discovery of a black man hanging in a tree on September 15th. I think Charlie Kirk was September 10th, if I'm not mistaken, made national news, raising the specter of Mississippi's history of racist lynchings. And that is a fact. Mississippi does have a history of racist lynchings. We want to learn from history so we don't repeat the behavior, but past performance is not indicative of future results. So Ben Crump enters, right? A nationally renowned civil rights lawyer who helped secure the $27 million settlement for the family of George Floyd, right? He came to their aid. He helped the family secure an independent autopsy via Colin Kaepernick, right? I'm paraphrasing just to save time on the video link. Trey's death evoked the collective memory of a community that has suffered a historic wound over many, many years and many, many deaths. This was Crump's statement on September 19th. Peace will come only by getting to the truth. We thank Colin Kaepernick for supporting this grieving family and the cause of justice and truth. So more than 10 months later, some of Reed's family members say that they feel they've been abandoned by the advocates who pledged to stand at their side. So this is their quote. I'm gonna highlight this one. I've been calling Ben Crump. I haven't heard anything from him since he said that he would get back in touch with me between Christmas and the first of the year. And this is from Trey's mother, Sophia Reed. They would not answer the phone for anybody, right? When they say they would not answer the phone for anybody, that can mean a number of things, but my interpretation is that, when you call, you leave a voicemail, or you call, maybe they have a secretary or maybe some form of AI in this day and age. To answer the phone, you say who you are, state your name, state your business, and they decide whether or not they're actually going to send the call to Crump. I'm pretty sure Ben Crump is answering the phone for somebody, just not y'all. And that's really what's so concerning here, right? So, evidence of this case, which I didn't know until I want to say a little while ago. I came across that 2 months ago. Let's see. Though the Tillmans and the Reeds are pursuing answers in the Trey Reed's death separately, both find themselves in similar circumstances as the anniversary of his passing approaches. That's right, we're coming up on it because it's August now, as of today, this recording. So they had, there was a alleged video shortly after the discovery of Trey's body found on the campus in Cleveland, Mississippi. Authorities investigating his death said that video evidence existed. Yes, I remember Delta State saying there are videos. I was waiting for said videos. They are in the hands of the investigation team, right? Now the family has clarified that the only videos they've been shown come from the morning of Trey's discovery, with no surveillance footage whatsoever from the moment of his death. Okay, so they don't have footage of the act. Conversations with Trey's family also revealed a critical piece of evidence previously undisclosed to the public. Both sides of the family stated that Trey's girlfriend at the time of his death provided investigators with suicidal text messages from him the evening before his body was found. The message read that he was going to hang himself. That's what Sophia Reed said. So they have text messages of him hanging himself. Yeah, I can see why Ben Crump wouldn't want to be a part of this case. And that's where I'm at with all of this, honestly. Before we get into Da'Jon, that's where I'm at with all of this, because we're about to go into a story of a young man who's not getting the press that he deserves, right? It's always the outrage that travels worldwide. It travels across the nation, spreads like wildfire. People have their moments. People try to get in where they fit in order to leverage that moment for their own personal gain. But it's stories like Da'Jon's that are truly heartbreaking, and they don't get the attention that they deserve. And that's why, with all of the accusations, right, for Trey Reed's situation, they thought it was going to be a race war scenario because it was off of the back of Charlie Kirk, right? They thought it was some get back that this random university student was being lynched in Mississippi. Now, I don't blame him because, hey, it's Mississippi, but I don't blame him because it's Mississippi for thinking that it may have had some racial undertones or overtones. I don't blame them because it's Mississippi and Mississippi's history, but it's in connection with Charlie Kirk and all of that. That's a stretch. That's a huge. How do you go from I don't even remember the name of the school where Charlie Kirk died at, all the way down to Mississippi? I know it was someplace northern, but all the way down to Mississippi, all the way from where Charlie Kirk was shot at, and how do you make that connection? People, and that's why I'm done with it, because people are grasping at straws, making connections for things instead of waiting for the facts to come out, analyzing the facts and making sure that their facts are straight so we can actually see what happened. Fortunately and unfortunately, we know what happened with young Da'Jon, and his story isn't highlighted the way that the false narratives of Trey Reed went across the nation. His real story isn't being told the way that the false narratives of Trey Reed were produced, so that people can make their TikToks, make their shorts, and give their uninformed opinion as though it were fact. But when I'm making content, especially for here, when I'm making and I'm in control of the content, and I may fall short, I may fall short. I'm definitely not the, oh, I have all the answers guy, right? I'm definitely not that guy. But I'm going to try to be as informed as possible before I bring it here and before I make up my own narrative or try to go with a particular crowd of what happened in the situation. And that's why, like, them moving on to cases, like, that's why I'm not sharing my opinion just yet about the Nolan Wells case, because I want to make sure I have my facts straight, and we honestly don't know everything. We don't know everything. I see some things that look suspicious on both sides, and I'll just leave it at that. But also in Mississippi, coincidentally. So when it comes to stories like young Da'Jon, it breaks my heart because he was a good kid doing the right thing just a few months ago, and just as a one-off, he lost his life. As far as I know, I don't know facts about the case, right? I don't know about the suspect, so we're not really gonna dwell too much on what the suspect is or his motives. But it seems like it was just like a chance thing. He was coming home and he was shot and unalive because of YouTube's terms of service. And it's a shame. It truly is a shame. Before that, and the reason why it's a shame is because not only is his death not getting the attention I believe all these deaths should, like, it's not getting the attention that Trey got shortly after it happened, because it's not there's no outrage behind it. People don't know what to be outraged about behind it, and so they can't sell that. The outrage isn't a selling point to get you to share a link or to share the story. The heroism of the young man that took place just months before his recent demise isn't being highlighted nearly as much as it should be. Not only did the boy, he died in a manner that unfortunately many young black men do. What he did about a few months prior, I forget when Thunder was, I keep moving the date. At least they have since COVID. I haven't been out to a Thunder since before COVID, honestly. So I don't know what the date is. But just a few months ago, before his demise, he stepped in and intervened from a young girl potentially being SA'd. And what makes it even more extraordinary is that he went head up with a 45-year-old man, grown man, as a 15-year-old kid. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Let me see if I can pull that up so we can get the story, the actual story. So we're going to talk about the heroism first, and then we're going to talk about the tragic events afterwards. So yeah, we're going to talk about the heroism first, and then we're going to talk about the tragic events afterwards.
Here tonight at 6, a 15-year-old boy says he fought off a 45-year-old man at Thunder Over Louisville because that man was harassing a younger girl. It is our top story for you tonight at 6. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Prophet. Da'Jon Hayes-Burr was stabbed right in the chest Saturday night, right after the fireworks had ended, and left the hospital on Sunday. Ian Hardwick and photojournalist Gabby DeGeorge met the boy today, who says he won't call himself a hero.
Yeah, it's like I can't even feel it for real.
A 3-day-old stab wound, bandaged, and Da'Jon Hayes-Burr, 15, never even saw the knife.
I didn't feel it until my friend told me I was stabbed.
Louisville Metro Police arrested 45-year-old Vasilis Sekalardis for the assault. Hayes-Burr said the older man was sexually harassing a 12-year-old girl, so Hayes-Burr and his family and friends stepped in.
There was a lot of grown men around, they wasn't gonna do nothing, so we had to do something.
Do you have time to think about yourself in a time like that?
No.
The fireworks had just ended. Hayes-Burr was walking this way towards the KFC Yum Center, leaving Thunder behind when he heard a cry for help. His mom, Lakita Smith-Burr, raised her son to answer those calls.
If you see a defenseless person, no matter who it is, help if you can. Every one of his friends, my cousin, his brothers, I'm so proud of all of them.
Hayes-Burr went to the hospital Thursday night and left Sunday afternoon. His mom's mad he was hurt.
But I'm happy that lives were saved. I'm happy that he came out with just 3 stitches. I'm happy that he's walking, he's talking. I have to tell him to sit down, take a chill pill.
He's a chill kid, happy to stay at home and play video games or with his siblings. After this,
I feel like everything's gonna be the same.
Yeah, you don't feel like you know, the school's gonna throw a pep rally for you?
I hope not.
So you don't really like the exposure?
Nah, I don't like a lot of attention.
But with the attention he has, he hopes people find a lesson.
You should always do the right thing and help.
Even if it means you get hurt?
Yeah.
He won't call himself a hero, but he certainly shines like one. Reporting in Louisville, Ian Hardwitt for WHAS 11 News, on your side.
All right, so we're going from now one and now post-mortem.
For action across the city after a 15-year-old who was recognized as a hero is now dead. Police say that he was shot by another teen.
That suspect 14 years old, and police say he is being charged with murder. This all happened Saturday night in the Shawnee neighborhood. And Wave News reporter Kirsten Foote has this update.
Yeah, Jose Myra, just a few months ago, Da'Jon Hayes-Burr stood on the steps of Metro Hall being honored for intervening during an altercation at Waterfront Park during Thunder Over Louisville. It involved a 12-year-old girl being assaulted. Hayes-Burr was stabbed in the process of trying to help her. And now to many people here in Louisville, he'll be known as a hero.
He had a whole future ahead of him, and it was stolen from him.
Councilwoman Crystal Bast met with and honored Da'Jon Hayes-Burr for his actions.
Today, my heart's broken.
Bast now calling for an end to the violence affecting young people in Louisville.
No mother should have to suffer waking up or getting the answer that her 15-year-old son was just shot for walking home.
That's a fact. And I just want to stop her right there because, like, I find it funny, right? I find it real, not even funny. I find it interesting because there's nothing ha-ha about it. But that the types of cases that Crump finds himself in is so lucrative. But the moment that they don't turn out to be what he's expecting, that he's nowhere to be seen. I mean, he essentially ghosted the Reed family. He didn't show up for this family because, well, I mean, who is there to sue for a large settlement that he could take a percentage of? Who is there to sue? And so I think that also, the fact that big names aren't associated with this story, it limits the view of the story. It limits the vision of the story. It limits the optics of this story, right? It limits how far this story reaches to the masses. And I think that is a part of the disservice, the social disservice, because when we're outraged, it goes across the world 10 times. But when there isn't an outrageous factor to it, right? Which to me, it's outrageous that we have teenagers unaliving teenagers. That's outrageous to me. That should be enough. That should be outrageous enough. And what's causing that? And how do we fix that? All right. Comment below if you have any solutions or any steps, or how do you all see and view that scenario? Right? The epidemic, it seems like, of young black men unaliving each other. Young black men shooting each other, young black men killing each other. I hate YouTube's terms of service. I just really do. I really do. The soft language that you have to say as a content creator. I'm trying to get through it, but what are the solutions? What are the problems? What are the things that are causing this disparity in the first place? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to work on. But the fact that this story isn't getting as much spin as, that Crump is on and around, or the stories of individuals under assumed racially charged or assume racial hate crimes and things of that nature. Assume racial hate crimes, because we don't wait till the facts come out. We assume that this is what it is, like in the case of Trey Reed. And when we find out it's not, oh, well, okay, I guess party's over. We move on to the next one. Y'all got to stop playing with people's families like that. Anyway, let's continue.
That her 15-year-old son was just shot for walking home. And to hear that a 14-year-old shot him, we have to stop accepting this as headlines and our youth killing youth and babies killing babies.
LMPD
No, she said pretty much in a nutshell what I was musing about. Okay. Fair enough.
Arrested the suspect early Sunday morning, just hours after the shooting that took 15-year-old Hayes-Burr's life. The shooting follows an already violent summer for teens in Louisville. Anti-violence activist Christopher 2X says it's another young life gone too soon.
It touched many in the right way. because he's young. Equally at the same time, his loss is very impactful on many.
He says many people in the community are feeling the loss.
From a distance, you can feel the pain of a young person that loses his life to violence. It touches you. It raises a concern in your own mind about your children that are around you, and could they ever be impacted by these kind of horrific acts that really flips a family's whole world upside down within a snap of a finger.
While police are still trying to figure out what led to the shooting, the shooter being 14 years old is still startling, and Christopher 2X says now can be a good reminder that anyone can play a role in helping young kids in Louisville.
Everybody can be an advocate for the whole idea of safe and healthy kids and better environments for them to thrive in, to feel healthy and safe. Do your part in giving that encouragement.
I agree with that. I do. But I honestly think that the environment is only a factor. I just to pick it back off of what Brother 2X was saying and how eloquently he put that. I think in addition to that, we also need to let kids know and fill them with the understanding that environmental is a contributing factor, but your determining factors are all intrinsic and internal. So the narrative that, you're a product of your environment, to a certain degree, I have to agree, to a certain degree. But I know too many people that rose above the circumstances that they were presented with since birth. I know too many people that overcome far too much and do so on a day in, day out basis for me to fully buy into that idea that the environmental factor is the primary factor and the primary determining factor. I think just as Da'Jon showed us, because, from the environment where Da'Jon's from, his environment would dictate, hey, look, that's none of your business. Stay out of those people's business. It's none of your business. But as a 15-year-old boy, you know what I'm saying? And his mother, who raised him a certain way, raised the young man different than his environment would dictate. As a 15-year-old boy, he stepped between a 12-year-old girl and a 45-year-old man. And it's sad that that's not being highlighted enough. It's sad because, that should be outrageous. There should be outrage about that. Now, 45-year-old guy was drunk, but let me tell you, I don't care how drunk I am. 12-year-old girl is not looking attractive to me at any level of inebriation, right? So the outrage, I don't know the lack of outrage about it. The lack of outrage of this young boy. I'm going to show you a picture of him real quick on the thumbnail. It's a picture from the thumbnail. The lack of outrage behind this young man. Look how tiny this kid is. You know what I'm saying? Step into a 45-year-old man to defend a 12-year-old girl. And his story isn't being highlighted. But, because we can make money off of this story and that story, that's the one that's going to get the spins, the clicks, the views. Because we think that there's a racial undertone. I mean, the 45-year-old guy was white. The 45-year-old guy that he got, and notably, I believe, let me see if I'm not wrong, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the girl that he defended was also Caucasian. All right, let's go to the mother and the girl that Da'Jon intervened on behalf of. Let's check this out. All right.
A Louisville mother said a 15-year-old boy was stabbed after he came to her and her daughter's rescue.
WDRB's Samantha Condro walks us through what they say happened after Thunder Over Louisville.
It was at this intersection near Waterfront Park where the woman and her 12-year-old daughter were leaving the fireworks show. That's when the mom says that they were approached by a man who was making sexual comments to her daughter.
He had pure evil in his eyes. That's the only way I can describe it.
What was supposed to be a fun night at Thunder Over Louisville for Kristen Stasel and her 12-year-old daughter Bristol turned into a terrifying moment as they were leaving.
A man approached her and made an extremely vulgar comment and then followed up with, when I screamed she's only 12, with never too young to have fun.
I can't explain in words of how disgusting that was, but it was beyond of what I can describe.
That's when Kristen says she started yelling pedophile, hoping someone would help. She said the man charged at her while she was yelling, so she got louder.
I would think, a dad, like an older person, someone of my age would jump in. It was a group of teen boys that came to our rescue.
Kristen says the boys stepped in and created a wall between them and the man, and then tackled him to the ground. A 15-year-old boy was stabbed.
Finding out a 15-year-old was harmed, 3 years older than her, just devastated me. That, somebody else's baby got hurt defending my baby. And he put his life on the line to save my baby, and for that I'm forever grateful.
Just kids that are like around my age doing it, and that's just like so shocking to me.
Kristen and Bristol are in contact with the boy and his family, and they tell me, thankfully, he's okay.
I know he says he's not a hero, but he is forever my hero.
45-year-old Vasilis Sakalaridis from Oregon was arrested and charged in the stabbing. He now faces several charges, including assault and disorderly conduct.
So those kids are heroes beyond heroes. Not only did they save her, they potentially saved another child that night.
In Louisville, Samantha Condra, WDRB News.
And I can see why this story doesn't get the clicks, because it goes against the narrative. So we have a young black man out here being a hero, right? Not only protecting, I'm pretty sure he'd do it for a young black girl, but he was protecting a young white girl. So you already squash one narrative of how young black men are moving out here. Then on top of it, the thanks, the appreciation, right? And then later on, because they were intervening on behalf of the white mother and the white daughter, and the person that was the aggressor was a white male. So they don't want to talk about that. They definitely don't want to talk about this one. They don't want this one to spread at all. So I can see why his story isn't so popular. It goes against the narrative of black male victimhood. You know how a black male always has to be in this pathetic situation where he's subject to or being beneath his racist white aggressor in some way, shape, or form. This young man stepped up and intervened. This goes against the narrative of black male victimhood, young black male victimhood specifically, as well as the narrative of young black thug messaging. Like he was just out there enjoying himself like everybody else, heard someone in distress and stepped up, stood on business, and handled business as he should. So I can see why it's not that popular, because it goes against a lot of the narratives out there nowadays. I can see why it's not that popular. I definitely can see. But it should be. It should be highlighted, and that's why I'm choosing to highlight it. So, you know what I'm saying? I want us to start being, and when I say us, I mean people in general, because I'm not trying to view things through a racial lens, but when other people come in with their racial narratives, then I get stuck having to analyze their racial lenses and all of this and the validities and all of this. As outraged as we are about narratives of victimhood and racism, I wish we were outraged about stories of heroism, because this boy lost his life, and he need not have lost his life in the manner in which he lost his life. He could have lost his life that day, and that probably would have been news. That probably would have, it is news, but it probably would have gone further than it has. But the fact that he lost his life to another 14-year-old kid, we don't know, and we probably won't for some time. They'll protect the identity of that child. It's telling, because we don't care about that, what's happening in our own communities, what's most likely to occur in our own communities, more than we do about these one-off stories of outrage, to the point where we have false outrage for something that didn't happen just because it looks away, but we don't know for real. And then when all the facts get out and it's not that, nobody's posting a retraction. Crump's not even talking to the family anymore. Just ghosted. Absolutely incredible. I think there needs to be an adjustment made to the way that we think. I've trained myself to not be so emotionally outraged, at least not as emotionally outraged as I was before about certain stuff. So I can sit back and look at it. Because in the words of Denzel Washington,
Make of all the fake news that it affects.
If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed.
So what do you do?
That's a great question. What is the long-term effect of too much information? One of the effects is the need to be first, not even to be true anymore. So what a responsibility you all have to tell the truth, not just to be first, but to tell the truth. We live in a society now where it's just first. Who cares? Get it out there. We don't care who it hurts. We don't care who we destroy. We don't care if it's true. Just say it, sell it.
That's what I'm trying to do with the Word Up podcast, is to be the opposite of what he said the media was. I'm not going to get it right all the time, but I want to be right more than I want to be the first one out with something. Worry observations, righteous discussions, unite people. It's the Word Up podcast. I've been your host, OMNIETC. I hope you have something for me in the comments section. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you think about the outrage of the Trey Reed case and then the subsequent ghosting of Ben Crump on the Reed family, because that's what it looks like right now is happening. And then give me your thoughts on Da'Jon and what he's been through in the past couple of months, because it's truly remarkable. He doesn't even want to be regarded as a hero, but the kid's a hero. And I believe he deserves the highest honors, as he was treated to a proclamation by the government. But I think he deserves to be national news. So I hope this content goes pretty far in assisting with visibility on his story, because that's a remarkable young man, no question. Peace, love, health, wealth to you all. Worry observations, righteous discussions, unite people. It's Word Up Podcast. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Till next time, take care.
We don't follow all the hype. We don't bend to every view. We just sift through the minutiae till the real comes into view. Wary observation.